Covering news that matters. Fox 23 News at 5 starts right now.
Witch hunt after witch hunt. These are sick people.
If even half of it is true, then he's toast. I mean, it's a very detailed indictment, and it's very, very damning.
If he wants to store material in a box in a bathroom, if he wants to store it in a box on a stage, he can do that.
We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone. Applying those laws, collecting facts, that's what determines the outcome of an investigation. Nothing more and nothing less.
A historic day across the country. Former President Donald Trump has been arrested for a second time. He's now the first president to face a federal indictment. Thanks for joining us. I'm Abigail Dye.
And I'm Rick Marinon. Shay and Sarah both have the night off. Now, Trump appeared before a federal judge in Miami just hours ago after being charged with 37 counts of mishandling classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago home.
The indictment unsealed last week alleges that the former president took hundreds of classified documents, including nuclear and military plans that don't belong to him, under the Presidential Records Act, stored them in unsecured locations such as a ballroom and a bathroom, lied to government officials, showed classified documents to people, and conspired to hide or destroy those documents.
And you're looking at some of those pictures now. This all led to last week when a Miami grand jury indicted Trump and his aides for his role in obstructing the investigation. Trump appeared before the judge today and he pleaded not guilty.
Chris Nugent is live outside the courthouse that Trump left just hours ago with the latest on what's happening there and what happens moving forward.
At a hospital in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a shooter deliberately targeted a surgeon using an assault weapon he bought just a few hours before his rampage.
We so wanted to be able to utilize our skills and training to save these precious lives. To the family of Mr. Love, I'm so sorry we couldn't save you. We are grieving with you.
So not only is it a shock, it is the ultimate loss for St. Francis and for Tulsa.
Do something. Just do something. For God's sake, do something.
President Joe Biden addressing the nation tonight to stop gun violence, mentioning the mass shooting here in Tulsa. One of 20 mass shootings, the president said, since the Uvalde school shooting just last week. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Shay Rozzi.
And I'm Sarah Whaley. Again, glad you're with us tonight. Our community is grieving the loss of Dr. Preston Phillips right here, Dr. Stephanie Houston, Amanda Glenn, and William Love. They were all killed yesterday inside the Natalie Medical Building. I spent the day at the St. Francis Health System campus. Tonight, I share with you a step-by-step timeline of the chilling details as to why this happened.
We have a breach of the Capitol! Breach of the Capitol to the upper level!
As you will see in the hearings to come, President Trump believed his supporters at the Capitol, and I quote, "We're doing what they should be doing." This is what he told his staff as they pleaded with him to call off the mob, to instruct his supporters to leave.
Powerful video and testimony on the first day of hearings from the bipartisan select committee investigating the attack on the U.S. Capitol.
The committee showing new video of the violent events that day and outlining what they'll be showing in the coming weeks after their months-long investigations.
Frigid temps continue this evening and below zero tomorrow morning. I'll let you know when we start to climb out and have the big thaw.
Many were able to stay inside to avoid the bitter cold, but not everyone is so lucky. We're speaking with the brave souls who do have to work outside. And we're not the only ones facing freezing temperatures. Here's a live look from Iowa, where voters will combat -20 wind chills to make their voices heard in the first 2024 election.
Covering news that matters. Fox 23 News at 5 starts right now.
It was a bitter cold day in Tulsa, and we have another day of temperatures just like it right ahead of us. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rick Marinon. Shay and Sarah are off tonight. We have live Fox 23 severe weather team coverage of the cold and the impacts we are seeing after the below freezing temperatures have stuck around for so long. Let's begin with Tulsa's chief meteorologist James Adelot in the Fox 23 Severe Weather Center with a look at the bitter cold we'll feel when the sun goes down tonight.
Those guys getting out here in this weather, they're definitely unsung heroes.
Not everyone got to take the holiday off and hunker down indoors. Tow trucks in Green Country have been working hard since the snow and frigid temperatures moved in over the weekend. Fox 23's Amy Hybels joins us live to explain what they're doing to try to stay safe while working outside in this extreme cold.
Well, Rick, 918 Wrecker Service here in Tulsa tells me that since Sunday, since it began snowing, they've responded to more than 120 calls for service. And think about it, that's just one tow business. Now, they admit that while they like being out here helping people, working in these conditions can be downright miserable. In fact, one wrecker operator that we spoke with said yesterday was even more challenging because of the snow.
Please slow down and move over, especially with road conditions the way they are today.
Now, Raul began his day at 7 a.m. and he tells me he most likely will not finish until well after 7 o'clock this evening when it's dark outside. Oklahoma's slow down, move over law now comes with hefty fines. So it's really important that you keep an eye out for all these folks that are out there working alongside the road, trying to help out motorists that are in distress in this extremely cold weather. In Tulsa, covering news that matters, I'm Amy Hybels, Fox 23 News.
Our Fox 23 severe weather team coverage continues with Fox 23's Jenna James. She spoke with IMSA, whose paramedics responded to more than 24 cold exposure calls just over the weekend, and they are prepared for more.
Over the weekend and into Monday morning, IMSA responded to nearly 30 cold exposure calls. Adam Paluca with IMSA says that hypothermia is a very real possibility in these below freezing temperatures.
Hypothermia means talk to mom and dad immediately.
He says if you do have any outdoor work that you need to do, wait until later in the week to avoid succumbing to those freezing temperatures. In downtown Tulsa, covering news that matters, Jenna James, Fox 23 News.
Many schools were already closed today in honor of MLK Day, but some are closed tomorrow because of that dangerous cold. Tulsa Public Schools, Union, Sand Springs, Broken Arrow, Bixby, and Sapulpa will be closed tomorrow. Owasso Public Schools will also not be in session, but they already were planning to have a teacher workday. Schools in Bartlesville and Jinx will have distance learning on Tuesday. For a full list of closings, we have been running them at the bottom of your screen, but when we are not, you can check the Fox 23 weather app and fox23.com. If you are a school administrator and your school is not listed, we do want to work with you to get the message out to your students. Our live Fox 23 severe weather team coverage continues from Broken Arrow now, where city crews have been treating roads ever since the snow started falling on Sunday afternoon. Fox 23's Tanya Motorzycki spent the day in BA. She's live with what drivers had to say and a look at those road conditions.
Rick, I'm out here in the Rose District. I'm going to turn the camera around while my photographer drives. As you can see, right now the roads are pretty clear, but earlier this morning when we were out on the roads, this was still pretty yucky out, and the side roads especially were hard to get down, and you can see that that one isn't cleared all the way, but they do have salt on the ground from what we're seeing, so definitely an improvement since this morning, and you can tell that crews are just hard at work trying to get through all of these roads. I caught up with Wesley Cox, who was cleaning off his car and getting his car with more than 300 miles of road to cover. We just passed the Broken Arrow Public Schools service department, and we're just still traveling on Main, and as you can see, roads are pretty clear for the most part, but we're seeing some side roads that are still pretty uncleared for the most part. That you may have some slipping and sliding action going down, but the city of Broken Arrow says they're going to continue to treat roads, especially into tomorrow, since we're going to have more cold weather on the way. Live in Broken Arrow, covering news that matters, I'm Tanya Motorzycki, Fox 23 News.
In tonight's You Decide 2024 coverage, Iowans are also dealing with that Arctic cold weather, but thousands are headed to the polls to give America the first look at the pulse of the 2024 race. Here's a live look from Iowa where the wind chill is a dangerous -20. Kevin Cork is in Washington with a look at how voters will brave record-breaking sub-zero temperatures tonight.
We are going to get out and caucus today.
For those Iowans braving the cold, the caucuses begin later on this evening with some 40 GOP delegates up for grabs. In Washington, covering the news that matters, Kevin Cork, Fox 23 News.
It is frigid now, but we're also looking at warmer temps on the way. I'll show you when to expect a big thaw and when we'll get rid of most of this snow.
There are a number of types of snowflakes out there. I'll walk you through what gave us the shapes that we had yesterday, coming up next.
During these freezing temperatures, it's important you have a place to stay warm, even if you're not homeless, where you can go for relief from the cold and the local shelter that is now at capacity. We are always working to cover news that matters to you. If you see breaking news, call us 918-491-0023. Make us a contact in your phone or email us at news@fox23.com and tell us what's going on. This is Fox 23 News at 5, covering news that matters.